Alrighty, I'm meteorologist Danielle Moss. I wanted to come on because there is now a severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County. It's these pop-up showers, they have popped up, and this one is a little bit strong and severe. So let's go ahead and take a look at our radar outside right now. There is a line of storms that's approaching the mid-south, and high winds are our main concern with this system right now. And this severe thunderstorm warning that we are taking a look at doesn't expire until 4:30, and it does include Crittenden, Arkansas, DeSoto, Tate, Tunica, and Shelby County. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit for us, and I'll put a track on it because the storm actually has not arrived here in Memphis right now, but they went ahead, issued that severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County just as a precautionary because the winds have been kind of high. In fact, we're looking at winds that could be upwards of around 60 miles an hour. So definitely could be causing some damage. We could be seeing some trees down, and the storm is moving north. I'll put some play on it so you can see what we've been looking at for the last hour. You can see it right there in the bottom of your screen there. The storm is continuing to push northeast. So because of that, the winds are a little bit strong, and that's another reason why they went ahead and issued that severe thunderstorm warning for the metro Memphis area. So right now it is moving through Tate and DeSoto County. I'll put a nice little track on it for us so we can see around timing wise and what we can anticipate. The storm is moving around 60 miles an hour is the wind speed. So we'll put, there we go. There's a track for you. So I'll call out some places in case people are still at work or maybe traveling or maybe on the way home. Walls 353, this storm will be at your doorstep. And right now we're not looking at a tornadic event, but the winds are very high. So as I'm calling out your place, just go ahead and be weather aware just in case the winds increase. The rainfall will be heavy at times, especially when the storm first arrives. So Nesbit at 3:55 p.m., Lynchburg at 3:56 p.m., Horn Lake at 3:58 p.m., the Lander Center at 3:59 p.m., right in South Haven at 4:02 p.m., Whitehaven at 4:05 p.m., Graceland at 4:07 p.m., at the airport at 4:09 p.m., and Orange Mound at 4:14 p.m. Whenever we say the airport, we do know that if you are traveling or leaving out of the Metro Memphis International Airport, you definitely could possibly be seeing some delays. So keep that in mind. So this storm is definitely something to keep our eye on. Wind speeds around 60 miles an hour. We haven't seen any damage reports or anything like that as the storm has been traveling northward, but definitely could be causing some damages. We've been getting a lot of rain here off and on, and that kind of accumulates. The ground is saturated, the winds are high, so you could be seeing some downed trees, maybe some downed power poles. We saw some of that happening yesterday in Arkansas. Luckily here in Memphis, we didn't have that. But as of right now, if you're just now joining us, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County until 4:30. So what we like to do is we like to take a look at all of our different things that we look at to see how strong the storm is. So what you're seeing right now is our wind speed. So when we have winds very high, there's a certain criteria, and this storm did meet that criteria. As of right now, the winds aren't too bad, but definitely still the storm is holding together. So that means that it's still very strong. It hasn't arrived in Memphis yet, but it's on the way. So we just wanted to make sure that you guys know exactly what you can look forward to and what you are looking for this evening. And this severe thunderstorm warning does not expire until 4:30. And like I said, the main concern right now is definitely high winds. We're not looking at anything tornadic at this moment, but when winds get high, you just can never be too sure. So we definitely want to make sure that everyone knows what's going on and what's going on around them. Some of these storms have been actually, producing some hail, but as you can see, there's no hail in this storm as of right now. Maybe some light hail a little bit earlier, but right now we're not seeing any, significant size hail with this storm. But over the last hour, this storm has definitely been kind of continuing to gain strength as it pushes northward. So we kind of knew this was coming ahead of time. I'm going to back out just a little bit so you guys can see what's going on across the rest of our viewing area, just in case you don't live in Shelby County. Most of us are dry right now. There's a whole portion of our viewing area that's not even seeing rain, including Memphis, but these storms are coming and out across the leading edge. I'll draw on your screen there. That is where all of the strongest of the winds are. That white line that you're seeing on your screen, that is where all of the strongest winds are. So that's why they're issuing these severe thunderstorm warnings. And this is just one of those systems that we were telling you all about. Sometimes the storms are just isolated showers, but sometimes they could come in and they could be very, very severe. We could be seeing some high winds, maybe even some damaging hail. Luckily today, we're not seeing that damaging hail. However, we are seeing definitely that high wind. And so because winds are picking up radar right now, 60 miles an hour, they went ahead and they issued that severe thunderstorm warning. So most of us here in Shelby County are wondering, it's not even raining outside. So what's going on? It's definitely because the storm is headed our way. Right now it is in DeSoto and Tate counties, and it's definitely packing a punch. Some heavy rainfall for sure, and definitely taking a look at some of our products that we use. We can see that, maybe there's some light hail in there, but we're not seeing any damaging hail. But behind this storm in Arkansas, you guys are just seeing some heavy rainfall. You guys got the strongest part of the storm earlier this afternoon. Right now here in Memphis, most of us are dry. In fact, I will zoom in a little bit on Memphis. You can see maybe some light showers, but nothing dramatic at all. Here's a look at the metro area. That storm now is officially in DeSoto County, and it's on the stronger side, but we're not looking at a tornadic event. I'll zoom out just a little bit and bring it up into frame so that you can see it just a little bit better there. The winds on our radar are picking up around 40 miles an hour. So this is a new track. I'll go ahead and read it out to you. So if you are in this area, you definitely want to go ahead and maybe give someone a call, tell them, hey, a strong storm is headed that way, especially if you are, know someone that could be on I-55 going northward, because that is where this storm is headed. In fact, let's go ahead and take a camera that shows the rain on I-55 in Hernando. So that is the rain that is headed our way. You can barely see outside. It almost looks foggy. Well, it's been hot today, so the rain is cooling us off. You can see the steam coming up off the ground. It is hot, humid, and very summer-like. We are still in spring, but these isolated showers are always a possibility around this time of the year. So definitely, just trying to keep you guys safe. You definitely want to, it's almost time for people to go home, maybe pick up their kids from their afternoon activities. It's 3:52 right now. If you know someone that is on I-55, definitely want to tell them, hey, heads up, there's a storm headed that way. Winds could definitely be high. The rainfall will be heavy when the storm first arrives, so keep that in mind. So if it's dry right now, you're going to be hearing some heavy rainfall here very, very shortly. That radar is definitely showing the winds upwards of 40 to 60 miles an hour. So that is definitely very, very concerning. So that noise that you hear behind me, they just continued it. So the same severe thunderstorm warning, and they took Tate County out of it. So now this is just for Crittenden, DeSoto, Tunica, and Shelby County, still until 4:30. So we'll stay on with you until 4:30, or until I feel like this threat really isn't a threat anymore. But unfortunately, it's not even raining in the metro Memphis area. So I want to make sure that, where we are, definitely showing some possible storms are on the way. In fact, Shelby County has a camera that we definitely want to take so we can see what's happening here in Shelby County. Because like I said, well, there it is. It is dry outside, but it is the middle of rush hour traffic, and you can see that the sky is so very, very dark. This is a live look at our TDOT camera. The wind is blowing, so that camera is jumping just a little bit. That storm is headed our way, so here's your heads up, fair warning. The heavy rainfall is coming. The winds are going to be high. So if you want to go ahead and get your safe place, you can. We're not looking at a tornadic event right now, but as this storm approaches, the winds are so high that, you just never know. So it's better to go ahead and be prepared. So in case some of the storms are very strong, and that's what tornadoes are. They're just winds working against each other. So you just never know. If winds are showing on the radar 60 miles an hour, you definitely want to make sure that we're continuing to watch this storm in case we do see the winds increase. Because if winds continues to increase, then that means that there is a greater chance that maybe, it could produce a tornado. As of right now, we're not seeing any of that. In fact, I'll check again with some of our tools that we like to use for our severe thunderstorms. And we're not really seeing any major velocity, which means that shows how strong the winds are in this storm. That's not really popping up, and that's good news. And in fact, if we click on shear, that lets us know if there's any rotation in these storms. Not seeing any rotation. I know we've had our fair share of bad storms, especially with the season change here lately, but as of right now, we're not seeing any rotation in this storm, and that's great news for us. So right now, it's just a high wind event. Winds are moving around 60 miles an hour. If you're just now joining us, this is just a fair warning that there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County. The storm hasn't even gotten into Shelby County. Right now it's still in DeSoto County. It is moving along 69. In fact, I'll zoom in just a little bit. Whitehaven, you guys are definitely about to be right up on this storm. So Horn Lake, Lynchburg, Whitehaven, the airport's probably already seeing some delays in this area because they're probably being precautionary and just going ahead and delaying some of those flights. There's the latest scan there, but along West Shelby Drive as well as Winchester Road, Oakville, headed towards South Memphis. If you're in those areas, as you can see, it's not raining there yet, but this storm is headed your way. So go ahead and give someone a call. Tell them, hey, if you're headed home tonight, maybe wait a few seconds, wait it out. Don't go out on those roadways right now because the rainfall will be heavy, especially you have to drive in an area. And we all know where those areas are where we see a lot of ponding, because when this storm first arrives, definitely going to be some heavy rainfall. So you could be seeing some ponding on those roadways. The winds will be high. So if you can, just wait out in the office or whatever you need to do to just kind of wait out the storm for a few minutes. You should. The storm looks like it's moving pretty fast, pretty quickly. So in the last hour or so, we definitely saw the storm kind of weakening just a little bit. So just keep that in mind for this afternoon and this evening, that if you have to leave, you have to go out. It is still early. It's only 3:56 right now. You definitely want to make sure that you allow a little extra time to just wait out the storm and stay where you're at so that you are safe and that your family is safe as well. I'm going to do another street view for us and time it out going towards Millington, because this storm is headed northward right now, and the leading edge of it is where we're seeing the strongest of those storms. So Horn Lake at 3:59 p.m. that storm will be there. The Lander Center at 4 o'clock. So you have a little bit less than 5 minutes to get in your safe place. South Haven at 4:06 p.m. Whitehaven at 4:08 p.m. Graceland at 4:11 p.m. The airport at 4:15 p.m. Orange Mound at 4:23 p.m. Cooper Young at 4:23. Downtown at 4:23 as well. And the Medical District at 4:24 p.m. So definitely seeing these storms continuing to be a little bit on the stronger side, definitely creating some severe winds that are upwards of 60 miles an hour. As of right now, our radar, the things that we use here at our station, just saying around 40 miles an hour. So I'll keep this on the screen just for now so we can see a little bit better. And it's not just raining here in the Metro Memphis area, but on a wider scale. I'll zoom out just a little bit so you can see what everyone else is looking at. You can see that there's rainfall coming pretty much for all of us here in the Mid-South. Most of us are dry though, so that is kind of good, but kind of not, because it's been so hot and so humid, and we all know what happens in the summer when it's very hot and very humid here in the Mid-South. Those storms actually begin to gain strength, and so we see those winds continuing to be high, and the storms just kind of don't weaken. And when we say weaken, that means just kind of fall apart and become just a rain event. As of right now, this looks to be a rain and high wind event, so definitely anticipating some heavy rainfall along the front edge of this storm. And I'll zoom in a little bit and draw once again on your screen what we're talking about here. Right along that leading edge, that's going to be where the highest winds are, as well as where some of the heaviest of the rain will be falling this evening. So just keep that in mind. It looks like we should be drying out very soon. In fact, I'm going to pull out some of our information that we use to tell you guys what you can anticipate. And this is our future cast. So what can we anticipate over the next few hours? As you can see, the rainfall will be continuing around 5 p.m. Strongest of the storm still kind of holding together, so around 6 p.m., but headed northeast. So looks like maybe around 7 or 8 o'clock here in Memphis, we will be completely done with the rainfall. The storms won't be staying severe the entire time, but definitely seeing some stronger storms ahead of that front line. And as you can see, around 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, definitely anticipating some more isolated pop-up showers, and even for your Friday morning. In fact, there is a severe outlook for tomorrow, but we will be getting into that a little bit later on in the show. But I do want to get back to this severe thunderstorm warning that's happening right now. Heavy rainfall is definitely continuing to fall. In fact, the emergency manager says that heavy rain is in Lake Cormorant. They've already gotten over half of an inch in 5 minutes. So that is definitely very, very concerning. So the heavy rainfall is definitely right along that leading edge of the line. In fact, here's a look at I-55 facing south at State Line Road. You can see that dark sky there. That is definitely where that storm is. It's dry. It almost doesn't look like, it hasn't rained at all here in Memphis or in Shelby County or in North Mississippi. That's at I-55, but it's headed our way. So here's your heads up. You can see the brake lights coming on. So people are probably just kind of glooming and looking at the sky and trying to figure out what's going on. And I wouldn't be surprised if rush hour traffic is a mess this afternoon, because we're definitely going to be seeing some heavy rainfall. So heavy rainfall usually means some possible accidents as well. So we've been watching this storm. If you're just now joining us, it's 4:01 right now. There is a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Shelby County. It also includes DeSoto County, Tunica, and Crittenden. They'll probably scale it back a little bit, but unfortunately, the Shelby County is still probably going to be staying in this severe thunderstorm warning. It's issued because winds are high. A storm is on the way. Winds are moving around 40 to 60 miles an hour. So a lot of high winds, a lot of heavy rain anticipated with this storm. Here's a look at 301 near 302 of Lynchburg, Mississippi. This is another rain camera that you can see. The storm has already moved through this area. There's literally ponding on that road right there. So that's definitely concerning. That is headed our way, Shelby County. So here's your fair heads up. If you know someone who hasn't left the office yet, maybe on the way to go get the kids, just tell them to sit in the parking lot, wait it out a little bit, maybe go inside a restaurant, get some dinner, and just relax, take it easy, because it's just one of those summertime pop-up showers that's moving along with this line of storms. So just keep that in mind as you plan the rest of your evening. It looks like we could be dry here by 8 p.m. Once this main line of storms moves out of here, it'll just be a rainfall event and won't have to worry about the winds being very high. But as of right now, the winds are very high along that leading edge. In fact, I'll go ahead and draw once again so we can get a better track on what we are anticipating here in the metro Memphis area. If I zoom in just a little bit, and I'll keep it out some so we can see what's out in front of this storm. It's literally dry. So a lot of people are probably just sitting at home thinking, oh, it's fine outside, but it's not. There's a storm headed our way. Whitehaven right now, that storm is probably right over you. Graceland at 4:05. Airport at 4:08 p.m., Orange Mound at 4:16, Cooper Young also at 4:16, and the Medical District, Fairgrounds, downtown, all of you all right there together at 4:16 p.m., Overton Square at 4:17 p.m., right in Midtown at 4:17 p.m., and Crosstown at 4:18 p.m. So these storms, we've gotten a few of them this week, especially here in Shelby County. The thing with this is that when the winds are this high, even though we're not getting, 2 and 3 inches of rain, we've gotten so much rain over the last few days and the last few weeks, really, that when the winds get very, very high, around 40 and 50 miles an hour, we could be seeing some down trees, maybe some down power lines. All of those are possibilities with these storms because the ground is so saturated. So that's another thing, another element you guys should be watching out for, because if the power goes out, you need to go ahead and charge those phones if it's not raining in your area right now. So definitely charge your phones, kind of be proactive, send some text messages, make sure people aren't on the roads if they can help it. I do know it's rush hour traffic and people are going home. So go ahead and give someone a call and say, hey, there's a storm headed our way. Definitely wait it out for a few minutes and it will be over very soon. The storm is moving very quickly. So if we put a little motion on it, we like to see how the storm has been acting. This is just over the last hour. You can see it's still continuing to move northward. It's moving pretty fast. So the rainfall, once it starts, it should be ending pretty quickly. But just keep this in mind if you're just now joining us. Once again, severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County with radar indicated winds in between 40 and 60 miles an hour. Some places where the storm already traveled through, they are reporting rainfall over an inch in 5 minutes. So definitely concerning. Here's another camera shot at Goodman Road near Mallard Creek. There's a creek there, so definitely kind of keeping an eye on that one. Heavy rainfall moving there on Goodman Road in Mississippi. So that is headed our way. It's rush hour. At least it's still light outside so you can still see, but that heavy rainfall is falling at a very fast rate right now, and the winds are definitely going to be high. We saw a camera shot not too long ago where the camera was kind of just bouncing up and down, and that's because the winds are so high in that area. You definitely want to turn your lights, your headlights, because when it's raining outside, it's actually a law in Tennessee to have your headlights on when it's raining because it's hard to see your vehicle. Help your neighbors out. Make sure people can see you as you are traveling this afternoon and this evening. So once again, severe thunderstorm warning. I'll zoom in a little bit more and I'll do a street level view so that we can call out some places that aren't seeing any rain, but you're definitely going to be getting some rain. South Memphis, downtown Memphis and Midtown, Cooper Young, Orange Mound, Hollywood, Binghamton, right near the U of M. This is going to be going towards Mound City as well. Fraser, Raleigh, you guys are all included into this severe thunderstorm warning as of right now. It's supposed to end at 4:30, but I would not be surprised if they actually extend it because it's still going to be, looks like it's still holding together a little bit. That noise that you're hearing behind me is that they removed Tunica County from this severe thunderstorm warning, which I knew that would happen. So we'll give it a little bit of a second to kind of refresh here, and we'll take a look at the new warning there, but definitely including still DeSoto and Shelby County. So the winds are high, the rainfall is heavy at this time, and it's going to be this way for a little while. If you're wondering, well, what can we anticipate for the rest of the evening? I'll go ahead and show you that just a little bit. This is a look at our future cast of what people can anticipate through the rest of tonight. This is like the next 12 to 15 hours. So around 6 p.m. the rainfall will be continuing, but the worst of the storm will be done here in Memphis and Shelby County. Around 7 p.m. we'll be drying out just a little bit. All of our Arkansas counties, you guys will be completely done with that heavy rainfall around 7. Around 8, still strong line of storms. As you can see, this is our latest scan of our future cast, still holding together. Then around 10 p.m. we will all be done with the rain. However, still some of those isolated pop-up showers coming around 2, 3, and 4 o'clock in the morning. So that lets us know that your commute to work, definitely, here's a look at 6 a.m., going to be wet and unsettled for your Friday morning. There's also a severe outlook for tomorrow. We are in a level 1, which they usually issue around this time of the year just to be safe because of storms like this one that we're taking a look at right now. Whenever they pop up, the winds could be high. So whenever you see a level 1, it's just kind of a precautionary, hey, the winds could be high. We could be seeing some severe thunderstorm warnings and maybe even some small sized hail. So tomorrow will be another day where you might see me on your screen. Here's a look at the new track. So West Memphis at 4:20 p.m., Southland Park at 4:22 p.m., downtown 4:24, the Medical District at 4:25, Crosstown at 4:27 p.m., Marion at 4:28, Fraser at 4:33, North Haven at 4:36 p.m. You guys are all in this severe thunderstorm warning at this time here for Shelby County, and it does not expire until 4:30. We've been tracking this storm for almost an hour now, and we've been definitely seeing it kind of stay together. We haven't seen it really gain any strength, so we're not looking at a tornado incident at all. This is just a high wind event where it could be causing some power lines to go down. It could be causing some trees to fall over. I know some people are still waiting for their neighborhood to clean up the mess from March 31st. So you definitely could be seeing some of that stuff blown around. So definitely want to make sure that you're away from the windows at the very least because the winds are so high and things are probably just kind of scattered all over the place in your neighborhoods. We just try to make sure that you guys know what's going on outside your window, especially since most of us are dry right now, but the rainfall is definitely going. And it's rush hour traffic. In fact, here's a look at I-55 and Goodman Road. The rain is falling. It's very slow traffic as well as we can anticipate. We already know what happens when it rains here. Just go ahead and add an extra 30 minutes to an hour to that commute time home. Hopefully everyone's being safe. Hopefully we're not seeing too many incidents on the roadways. But as you can see, that tractor trailer driving, that rainfall is definitely heavy on the interstates right now. So you definitely want to make sure you allow a little extra time if you can. Try to stay where you're at until this storm kind of passes or the worst part of the storm gets through the area, because then you can just go ahead about your evening. But while the heavy rainfall is falling, the winds are at the highest point, you definitely want to make sure that you are just taking it easy out there as well. I'm going to zoom in again. We like to do street level here just so that people can know where it's coming, because like I said, a lot of us are still dry. So Fraser, definitely anticipating this rain to be coming your way and this storm. Crosstown, Hollywood, Binghamton, right at Jackson Avenue, as well as University Street, Midtown, Cooper Young, literally downtown in Memphis. This storm is headed your way, and this rainfall is headed your way as well. This is definitely one of these just isolated incidents. We always try to tell you about, pinpointing rainfall at this time of the year. It's difficult. We don't want to, definitely scare you away from this, but trying to pinpoint a time where this rainfall is going to be coming in the afternoons during this time of the year, very, very difficult. We did know that there's going to be some kind of activity this afternoon, but you never know when they could be on the stronger side. And unfortunately, this storm here that's moving through Shelby County right now, as well as DeSoto County, showing us that there's definitely going to be a severe thunderstorm warning. And it doesn't expire until 4:30. And they have not expired the warning just yet. So that lets us know that, the storm is definitely continuing to hold together, and the National Weather Service is going to probably continue this severe thunderstorm warning for another part of Shelby County, because some of us are still not even in this warning. So as you can see, Millington, you guys have been left out of the warning, but it's definitely still coming your way. Here, let's take another look at a camera. I-55 north of Shelby Drive, showing the heavy rainfall there. There it is. Heavy rainfall right in the middle of rush hour traffic. It is a mess outside, and this is not the worst part of the storm, still heading our way. So take your time, take it easy. Those winds are going to be high. I know I keep saying the same thing, but that's the main portion of this severe thunderstorm warning. Sometimes we issue warnings and we're on because of hail. Sometimes we issue warnings and we're on because we are worried that this storm could become a tornado. But this specific storm today, we're looking at high winds. So that's what we are focused on, the high winds. And we do know that it's afternoon, it's 4:12. People are trying to commute home. People might just be relaxing, maybe in their yard. It was a nice, beautiful afternoon, but now those skies are getting dark. The rainfall is on the way. The winds are probably picking up, and that's because this severe thunderstorm warning is headed our way. So go ahead and give people a call. Tell them, hey, wait off on coming home just for a minute until the storm blows through. Also, just go into your safe place. Get away from those windows just in case trees do fall over. We've gotten a lot of rain here over the last few weeks, and the ground is probably still very saturated. It's been hot this week, but not hot enough to really dry out the ground for drought levels. So definitely want to make sure that you are not near a tree that could topple over because those winds are so high. As of right now, we're looking at winds upwards of 40 to 50 miles an hour. So definitely concerning as far as wind speeds go. And I will go ahead and put another track on it so that you guys can see what to anticipate and where this storm is headed over the next few minutes. So Crosstown right now, that rainfall is headed your way. Southland Park at 4:14, Overton as well. Chickasaw Gardens at 4:15 p.m. Binghamton at 4:16, the U of M at 4:18, Fraser, there we go, you're in there now, 4:21 p.m., as well as Oak Court at 4:22 p.m., East Memphis at 4:25 p.m., North Haven at 4:27 p.m., and Raleigh at 4:29 p.m. This storm is headed your way, definitely having some high winds. The good news that I can say right now is that it's not a tornadic event that we are looking at. In fact, I'll turn on some of one of the tools that we use to see wind speeds and to make sure that the wind is not too high in that area. And as of right now, the winds are fine as far as working against each other, creating a possible tornado. So, winds are always in a tornadic storm, but it's when they work against each other, that's when we see that tornado happen. But this storm right now, we're only looking at a high wind event. So that means down trees, maybe even some down power lines. We saw this earlier yesterday with one of these isolated pop-up showers. This is not isolated per se, but it's definitely one of those afternoon summertime showers that you can see that just kind of pops up. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. We got some new information from our radar. as it has populated, and this is showing that Graceland Airport at 4:16 p.m. Just for time reference, it is 4:14 p.m. right now. Orange Mound at 4:21, Cooper Young at 4:22, their fairgrounds at 4:23 p.m., U of M at 4:24, as well as Overton Square, Chickasaw Gardens, Midtown, and the Medical District at 4:25 p.m. Definitely, concerning because there is a severe thunderstorm warning. Whenever we see that, it's definitely a cause for concern because we want all of our viewers to be safe. That noise is they just removed DeSoto County from that severe thunderstorm warning, which is great news. So they're scaling it back. Definitely still having some heavy rainfall in DeSoto County. You're just done with the strongest part of this storm. Let's take a live look outside at 240 south of Parkway. There you go. Heavy rainfall has arrived here in the Mid-South. This is just that time of the year. This is once again 240 south of South Parkway. So highways are definitely wet. People are on their way home. You can see the rain that's being tossed up by those tractor trailers. People are moving. At least it's not stopped. However, people should probably slow down because the heaviest of the rainfall is still on its way. And it'll probably be raining for at least another 3 to 4 hours here heavily. And then we'll start to see things drying out before more isolated storms will be headed our way. So definitely the heavy rainfall is still coming. Millington, you guys are dry right now. Munford, you guys are dry. Covington, everybody's dry. But here in Shelby County, some portions of it, especially downtown Memphis right now, you guys are getting kind of the worst of it, and in West Memphis as well. So Mound City, Frazier, Raleigh, Hollywood, Crosstown. I'm sure everyone at Crosstown Concourse is probably wondering why is the sky so dark, because the storm is literally right on top of you. Binghamton, Raleigh, as well as going towards Bartlett. Jackson Avenue about to be moving across I-40. Definitely most traveled areas here in Memphis. So definitely seeing a lot of rainfall and high winds as well. Here's a look at I-40 at Riverside Drive downtown. The rain is beginning to fall, and you can see that little camera bouncing up and down. Definitely some high winds. You can see it coming off of the highway there. Definitely some heavy rainfall and some high winds in that area. You can see someone driving with their flashers. We say this all the time whenever we do these, but you're really not supposed to drive. It's actually illegal. If you cannot see, you're supposed to pull over. You're not supposed to drive with those flashers on. Keep your headlights on, but turn your flashers off and pull over to the side, because you're not supposed to do that. And I know that people can't see because the winds right now around 55 miles an hour right now at the airport, and it's raining very heavily as well. Definitely want to make sure that you are using precaution. If you're traveling this evening, just a heads up, you probably will be delayed if you're flying out of Memphis International Airport tonight, because the winds are too high for those planes to take off, and it's raining way too hard. And just because there is a severe thunderstorm warning right now in Shelby County. Here is a wider look at what's going on, because not all of us live in Shelby County, right? So what's going on outside of my doorstep? If you're in Arkansas, most of the heavy rainfall is out of your area. You're not done with the rainfall just yet, but it's still moving through. The main line of storms still working its way. I'll draw a little bit of a line so we can do a little arts and crafts time here so you can see what to anticipate. Even Oxford, Mississippi, you guys are dry as well. So if you can see that really faint line, I'll zoom in just a little bit there on your screen. That is the leading edge of this storm system, and that is where we are seeing the highest of the winds, and the heaviest of the rainfall still will be making its way there. In fact, I'm going to draw a different type of a track on here so that people can get a better idea of when to expect some of these storms to arrive, because they're moving a little bit northward. There we go. So downtown, obviously right now, you just saw that camera view. Orange Mound, Cooper Young, Medical District, Fairgrounds, Parkway Village, Midtown, you guys are right under this storm right now. Overton Square around 4:21 p.m. That's 2 minutes from now, Crosstown as well, Chickasaw Gardens, and U of M at 422. If you know anybody that's at the U of M, I know they just had graduation, but maybe some people are still preparing for summer classes right now. You definitely could be seeing some high winds, some heavy rainfall. Hopefully everyone is inside at this point because the winds are definitely very, very high. You remember seeing that camera there in downtown, definitely seeing it bounce up and down. That showed us exactly how high those winds are. And this little piece of this storm is just kind of holding together still. And we're definitely seeing that wind speed continue. The good news is right now, we're not looking at it as a hail event, but now we're starting to see just a little bit of possible hail, a little bit north of Whitehaven. If I zoom in just a little bit, that is literally right past the airport. So in South Memphis there by Winchester Road and close to Elvis Presley Boulevard, that's where we're looking at some possible hail. Taking a look at hail size, small size hail, if there is any falling from the sky. Still just focusing on the wind factor of this storm. In fact, the National Weather Service is saying that wind gusts were 55 miles an hour at the airport right now. So you probably could hear some howling at that airport. Definitely probably if you're a scared flyer, not something that you want to see before you get ready for takeoff, that's for sure. But this storm is continuing to move. They haven't continued it. This specific severe thunderstorm warning, it expires at 4:30. As of right now, we aren't seeing them cancel it early. So we're going to continue to monitor it for at least the next 10 minutes. We did get a storm report. This is the first one. There are some large tree limbs down in Eudora, and that's in DeSoto County. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, you know, we're in that time of the year where we see these isolated showers. And while it doesn't seem like it's raining that much outside, unfortunately, that's when we start to see, you know, continuation of the rainfall falling in the same place. There it is. I thought that they were going to do that. So they just extended this severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County. So the new warning is for Crittenden, Mississippi, Arkansas, Shelby County, and Tipton County in Tennessee until 5 o'clock tonight. So we're going to go right into our show. So if you guys want to give in the back, if you want to give everyone a heads up that this severe thunderstorm warning is going to be continuing through at least through the first part of our show at 5 o'clock. So we're going to stay on with you. Like I said, the winds are staying together with this storm really, really well. And we did get that report in DeSoto County of large tree limbs down in Eudora. So just be weather aware. Get away from those windows. I know it's not a tornadic event right now, but we do want you to be safe. We want your family to be safe. So get away from the windows as precaution. We're not looking at a tornadic event. It is a wind event, but because we've gotten so much rain here lately, definitely seeing possible trees falling, maybe some power lines down. So just prepare yourself. If you know someone who's on the way home, it's 4:22 right now. Definitely give them a heads up to get off the roadways right now and maybe just wait it out for at least 20 to 30 minutes until the storm kind of clears up just a little bit. As far as rainfall is concerned, we're going to be seeing rain at least for the next 2 to 3 hours, and then we'll start to see things clearing up just a little bit. But until then, for the next 30 to 40 minutes, especially here in Memphis, you definitely want to tell people to wait it out for a while, just for the worst of it to go by. Hey, here's a look at 240 north of Union Ave near the medical district. That would be right where the heaviest of the rain will be falling right now. That is right near Jefferson Avenue. As you can see, heavy rainfall falling. You can see it on the camera there. People are on their way home. So a lot of stuff happening right now. I know a lot of people still concerned about, you know, some of that debris from March 31st, and here we are in May, but some of those storm limbs are still down. So you definitely want to make sure that you're being precautious and getting away from those windows, because if the winds are blowing over large tree limbs in DeSoto County, we can anticipate the same kind of action here in Shelby County as well. I'm going to put a new track on this storm, especially since they did a new severe thunderstorm warning, and I'll kind of reset here just for a second so we can see wide view, because, you know, not all of us live in Memphis, so we want to see what's happening outside of our doorway. So behind this storm, I'll draw some lines here for you. Behind this storm, you guys are done with the severe threat. That doesn't mean that, you know, you're done with the rain per se, but you're definitely done with the severe threat. There's going to be more rain coming, and right now we're just seeing, you know, a high wind event. But ahead of this storm, so I'll draw again this way. Everywhere out in front of this storm, still dry. So that is where we're looking at for the strongest part of the storm. And right now here in Memphis, we're definitely seeing those high winds. If I zoom in just a little bit here, you're seeing those high winds, and that is why this severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. In fact, you could be seeing gusts of 40 miles an hour downtown. And that is from our very own Trevor Burchett, who's at home. In fact, let's pull up another camera. Chelsea Ave near Chicago, strong winds blowing trees and rain. Look at those trees over to the left-hand side of the screen there. Wow. That is definitely some high winds there. In fact, you can see those are little hail pellets too, falling off of that camera. So let's keep that camera up for 1 second. You can see the traffic definitely stopping on that side. You can see little small hail pellets. You can also see the wind blowing those trees around. Definitely a stronger storm. Now, we've definitely seen worse storms here in the metro Memphis area and across our entire viewing area, but this storm is definitely packing a little bit of a punch. We're definitely seeing some heavy rainfall. We've gotten at least one report of some trees being blown over, and definitely seeing those winds continuing to be anywhere between 40 and around 60 miles an hour. And as you know, trees blow down pretty easily here, so that is definitely a concern. A little bit later on, we could be seeing some more power outages. So please just make sure that you are charging your phones and having multiple ways of communication, especially if you know someone who might be on the roadways right now. Definitely want to make sure that everyone is safe no matter where they are here in the metro Memphis area. Here's another track here on this storm and what we are anticipating, because this storm is continuing to move. It's really moving relatively quickly. We've seen much slower storms per se, but as of right now, if I call out, where you are located at in your town or wherever you are in the metro Memphis area, this is going to let you know when the high winds and the heavy rainfall will be arriving where you are. So downtown, as of right now, you just saw that camera. It's definitely downtown right now. Crosstown at 428, Midtown at 429, Overton Park at 430, Frazier at 435, North Haven at 440, Millington at 451, Munford at 505, and Atoka at 5:06 p.m. So this storm still moving its way. They have extended it. So at first it was going to expire at 4:30. It's now been extended to 5 o'clock. So I'll read out the bulletin just in case you're just now joining us. It's 4:27 right now. And there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Crittenden and Mississippi and Arkansas, as well as Shelby and Tipton County until 5 o'clock. So just keep that in mind. We're seeing wind gusts of 58 miles an hour or greater. And definitely, as of right now, in fact, at the FedEx ramp control, this is at the airport, they're saying that their weather station could be picking up gusts around 70 miles an hour. That's definitely some high winds in that area. So with the high winds and the heavy rainfall, we can definitely possibly anticipate some possible power outages depending on where you live. Earlier, around 10-15 minutes ago, there was a report that there were some downed trees in Eudora. So definitely want to make sure that you are being weather aware. And that's in DeSoto County, just in case you don't know where that is. So this storm is traveling northeast. So anywhere northeast of DeSoto County, just go ahead and prepare for some possible strong storms. Now, we're not looking at a tornadic event. I know we've had a lot of severe weather here in the Mid-South, so I want to make sure that we're calming your nerves here. This is not a tornadic event right now. Definitely a high wind event, definitely some possible heavy rainfall. And as you saw on that camera a few minutes ago, maybe some small sized hail. But as of right now, we're not looking at a tornadic event. So that's good. We're going to keep our eye on it. We're look at some of the high winds right now to make sure that we don't see any rotation. In fact, if we put on our shear rate, you can see that we're not looking at any significant shear, which is good news for us. These are some of the tools that we use so that we can tell you guys what to anticipate. So rotation tracker, that's telling us that there's no rotation, which is great news. As we take a closer look to where this storm is, I know this is a lot of information on your screen, but this is what I use to make sure that you guys are safe at home. As of right now, we're not really seeing any winds too high from our radar, and this is storm wind, so this lets us know if we should be watching for that rotation, and we're not. So that's good. That's really good news as well. Here's another look. Speaking of high winds, at 40 at McLean near Hollywood, heavy traffic there, and you can see the trees blowing around. You can see there's an MPD cruiser off to the side. So a lot of activity out there, and this is at I-40. So please, 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 if you know anyone who might be on their way home, please make sure that they are taking their time. Please make sure that maybe they wait it out just a little bit in case they see any storm damage, maybe some tree limbs or whatever it is might be blowing around. Just take your time on those roadways, maybe pull off to the side, maybe grab some dinner, an early dinner if you have to. We can keep that camera up and I'll use that other side of the screen for our radar so that we can kind of keep it in two boxes. But this is definitely a stronger storm. The good news is that we haven't been seeing any tornadic energy with this storm, which is great. Here's another look here. I'm going to put it in play mode. So what has been happening over the last hour? We have been seeing this line of storms move into the metro Memphis area. Heavy rainfall, high winds, and a little bit, just a little tiny bit of hail moving through the metro Memphis area. But as you can see those little yellow boxes on your screen, that shows you the progression of the strongest part of the storm. That tells us that that severe thunderstorm warning has been extended around 3 or 4 times since it was initially issued. And as of right now, it is in Shelby County until 5 p.m. When we first started this, when I first came on, there wasn't any rain here in the metro Memphis area. And now, as you can see in that bottom screen, there's plenty of rain here, and the winds are high as well. And the rainfall is still going to be continuing. Once this storm moves out of Shelby County, though, we will get off the airway. But as of right now, it is until 5 o'clock. And after 5 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, we come on with our 5 o'clock news. So this is just a heads up. If you are looking for your show, unfortunately, if you're looking for Jennifer Hudson, we are here with you instead of Jennifer Hudson, keeping you safe, making sure you guys know what's going on. If you're just now joining us, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County. It's 4:30, so I will reset just a little bit and show you guys what we are anticipating across the entire viewing area, because like I said, not all of us live in Shelby County, right? So let us be fair and show everyone else what's going on. In Arkansas, we're just seeing more of lighter rain. The heaviest of the storms, we're done with that as of right now. You guys will get a little bit more isolated storms a little bit later on, but the leading edge of that storm is out of here. So these lines that I'm drawing on your screen right now, that shows you where the severe part of that storm has been completed. Now, the lines out in front, especially right where you see that severe thunderstorm warning box there, that lets us know that that's kind of an area that we'll keep our eye on and continue to monitor, because you haven't gotten any rain at all. Now, we hadn't gotten any rain until around 2 minutes ago here in Bartlett. So I'll zoom in just a little bit more once again, and you can hear the thunder outside as well. And this is literally the leading edge of that storm. So I'll zoom in a little bit on Street View to give you guys a heads up of where you're looking for. So Griffin Corner, Millington, Williams Chapel, Rosemark, definitely near Watkinsville Road, West Union Road, near Shake Rag, as well as East Shelby Road, Chase Road, Old Millington Road, Essex Street. You guys are all about to get that rainfall. It's finally raining here in Bartlett. That will be near Wolf Chase as well. Wolf Chase, you guys, if someone's at the mall right now, they're technically not included in this severe thunderstorm warning. In fact, I'll bring the box up just a little bit so you can see. They're technically not included in the severe thunderstorm warning. However, definitely still going to be getting some high winds and some heavy rainfall as well. So keep your eye on this storm at least for the next 30 minutes. And then we'll start to see things kind of weakening, kind of clearing up just a little bit. I'll put another track on it because we haven't seen a track in a while here in the metro Memphis area and what we can expect here. So I'll zoom in. There we go. So Ellendale at 4:38 p.m. Millington at 4:43 p.m., Mumford at 5:07 p.m., Atoka at 5:10 p.m., Gilt Edge at 5:19 p.m., Brighton at 5:22 p.m., Burleson at 5:25 p.m., and Garland at 5:32 p.m. You guys are all going to be anticipating this rainfall, this high wind event to be headed your way. The only storm report that we saw was in Eudora. Now, we just lost power, which you should still be able to hear my voice at the same time there. But the only storm report we have right now is in Eudora. There was some trees blown down, and this is a great reason why I always tell people to charge those phones, because luckily here we do have a backup generator. But if you do not have that ability to have a backup generator, you definitely want to make sure that you have your phone charged, charge your tablets, or whatever you need to do just in case you lose power. You need to have multiple ways to communicate to the outside world. So just keep that in mind as well. So once again, Ellendale at 4:38 p.m., Millington at 4:43 p.m., Mumford at 5:07 p.m., Atoka at 5:10 p.m., Gilt Edge at 5:19 p.m., Brighton at 5:22 p.m., Burleson at 5:25 p.m. and Garland at 5:32 p.m. That's where the storm will be coming your way. Now, like I said, we did start out this broadcast with little to no rain here in Shelby County and in the metro Memphis area. But now the rainfall is falling really heavy. We can hear it here in Bartlett. It's 4:35 p.m. You're definitely starting to see really bad backups on the road. In fact, here's a look at 240 and I-40. There could be a possible crash in that area. Definitely a possible crash in that area. It looks like there's only one lane open right now. Multiple officials are on the scene there, but that heavy rainfall is probably not going to help that at all. And we're going to start to see that back up pretty far. Once again, this is 240 and 40 at the interchange, definitely causing some bad delays. Here's another look. You can see this is the camera that we were looking at a little bit earlier. This is Walnut Grove and Poplar. The winds are high. You can barely see out there. The rain is falling so hard as well. The winds are also moving. So definitely want to make sure that you are in a place where you can just kind of pull over. Once again, just as a reminder that you definitely want to pull over. You don't want to drive with your hazards on. That camera is actually not frozen. You might think that it is, but that is the backup from the crash that is happening at 240 and 40. So this is at Walnut Grove and Poplar. So a lot of backup happening there from this accident. And there's a look at the accident again. It looked like one lane was open, but now we might be seeing no lanes open there. So definitely want to make sure that you are taking your time out on those roadways this afternoon. And we all have places to get, and we do know how important it is for you to get home, but it's important for you to get there safely. So definitely want to make sure that you allow a little extra time, maybe just relax at the house if you need to relax at work, just to make sure that you and your family are safe. If you know someone who's trying to go home right now, just give us 20 to 30 minutes, and the worst part of the storm will be through Shelby County. Until then, definitely anticipate the high winds and heavy rainfall to be continuing. Now, we won't be dry in 20 to 30 minutes, but the worst of it will be over in 20 to 30 minutes. Since we came back to the full screen, I'm going to do another street level view, because some of us are still a little bit dry out there. So Dixonville, Wilkinsonville, Drummonds, Munford, Tipton, Black Cat, Deans Island, Towering Heights, definitely seeing dry skies right now. Probably a little dark, a little scary, but we're not looking at a tornadic event right now by any means. Just heavy rainfall and also some high winds. Those are our main concerns right now. The good news is that the National Weather Service are seeing that the storms are weakening just a little bit, but could produce some damaging winds. So if you're in Shelby Forest, heads up Millington, as you can see on your screen there, you're not really seeing the worst of it, but definitely on the way. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to let you guys see once again our futurecast. So what can you anticipate over the next 12 to 15 hours? And this is one of our favorite models to use. This one is the most we are the most accurate, and this is our favorite one. So this lets you know exactly what you can anticipate over the next few hours. The strongest line of the storms will continue to move northeast by 7 o'clock p.m. most of us will be done with the heavy rainfall, which is good news. 8 p.m. almost completely out of the viewing area. Then it looks like around 10 p.m. we get a little bit of a break from that heavy rainfall, but then more isolated showers could be coming later on overnight and into your Friday morning. And unfortunately, it looks like your commute to work tomorrow will be a little bit wet and a little bit unsettled. And it looks like we're going to be continuing to see this kind of activity over the next few days. Unfortunately, we're just in that time of the year where we are continuing to kind of monitor these storm chances, especially in the summer. So we just got another storm report. This is in Shelby County. There's a downed tree limb brought down by a power line or cable to a house. 10-foot long tree limb on a home right now in southeast Memphis. So just make sure that you guys are, being weather aware. I know we say that. That means get away from your windows, charge your phones, do whatever you need to talk to whatever your family at home. Make sure that they are safe. Because the winds are very high, and that's our main concern with this event. We are thankful that right now we're not looking at a tornadic event, but the high winds are definitely causing some problems. We had some tree limbs in Eudora and DeSoto County from the same storm, and now there's been official report of a large tree limb into a home in southeast Memphis in Shelby County. So definitely want to make sure that you are being safe at this time. You never know when those trees have just had enough, especially with all of this severe weather that we've had. If you take a look in the corner of your screen, we're not looking at a big lightning event. You can see there's only been around 3 total strikes, which is good. However, like I said, winds can cause a lot of damage, and we all know that. A lot of people are still waiting, for some of the damage to be cleaned up. People are still trying to clean up damage in their homes from March 31st. So winds can definitely cause a lot of damage in the area. So you definitely want to make sure that you are being weather aware. In fact, there's probably a number of power outages right now. So keep that in mind as well. Here's another look at a rotation detector. I know it looks like nothing, and that's great. We want it to continue to look like nothing because that lets us know that there is no rotation in the area, and that's a good thing for us. This is another tool that I like to use. This lets us know there's a little bit of hail in this storm, so high winds and a little bit of a hail signature coming up from our radar. In fact, if we put a hail path on, you can see those little itty bitty purple dots on your screen. That lets us know there's a tiny bit of hail there. And if you think back, if you were with us maybe 10-20 minutes ago, you definitely saw the hail falling off the camera there, off that TDOT camera. It's just tiny. It was bouncing off there. If we take a look at that hail size, that dark purple lets us know that it is very tiny little hail droplets falling from the sky, which is good. You don't want to have any severe sized hail with high winds. That would be awful. That's when you get those really big viral hails falling from the sky, and we don't want any of that for sure. Now, tomorrow, if you're anticipating this again, you should, because this is definitely going to be kind of the pattern that we're set up for at least the rest of the week. It looks like Friday, Saturday, and unfortunately on Mother's Day, it could be 90 degrees outside, so that's not going to help as well. There'll be humidity, so whenever we have these isolated thunderstorms popping up, there is a chance that they could become severe. So you definitely want to make sure you're weather aware. We say this all the time during the summer, but this is kind of a summer-like pattern that we're in right now. So you definitely want to make sure you're weather aware pretty much every evening for the next few evenings, because we could see a storm like the one that we're looking at that could have small hail. That hail could maybe even turn severe. You never know. So we always try to give people a heads up, and we always know that high winds and hail are really the main concerns for this time of the year. As of right now, we are just looking at a high wind event, and that's something that I can be proud to tell you that we're not really looking at a tornadic event necessarily. But this is rush hour, and we have already seen one accident. Here's another one. There's 2 lanes maybe getting passed now from that accident on 240 and 40. We can pull up that camera and let the folks at home see it as well, because that's definitely going to be causing some major delays. So now there's 2 lanes open. When we first checked on it, there was only 1 lane open there, but the heavy rainfall is falling, so that traffic is definitely going to be continuing to back up. We did have the backup, there it is, at 240 and Poplar. It is a parking lot. out there. That camera is definitely showing the effects of that crash where only 2 lanes are open there. And that's all because of this one storm. And unfortunately, it is a severe thunderstorm, and it's going to be continued until around 5. So we have around 15 more minutes. The storm is weakening just a little bit, so we might not see them continue it, but it could still be in the Shelby County area. But you guys, we just want to make sure that you're safe, and that's the main important thing. So if for some reason you're just now joining, trying to find Jennifer Hudson, unfortunately, you guys are stuck with me right now because there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County, and that is going to be until 5 p.m. And it does include Crittenden as well as Mississippi counties and Arkansas and Tipton County as well. But it looks like the main line of this storm, and I'll do another little illustration here, is moving a little bit mostly in Shelby County. So that main line of the storm where the highest of the winds are right now, that is where we are seeing that rainfall. So Millington, you guys are definitely finally getting some rainfall there. Dixonville, Drummonds, St. Paul, Howard's Landing, Richards, Pecan Point, that is right there on the river, Black Cat, Beaver, Egypt, Mumford, Atoka, Tipton. You guys are all about to get some rainfall. You might be a little bit dry, but if you check outside of your window, you might be seeing the dark skies across the sky, and that is because of this storm that is headed our way. We've had 2 reports of trees down, and that's because the winds have been so high. I'll zoom back out just a little bit so we can see the metro Memphis area, and that shows you right after this main line of storms. It's at the top of your screen there, continues to move out of here. You're just looking at a rainfall event only. And over the last hour or so, that's our latest scan there, over the last hour or so, we've really seen this storm kind of progress, and it's moving northeast. This is a look at that. It's moving fairly quickly, which is good, but it's dropping a lot of rainfall. It's definitely causing a lot of traffic. It's definitely causing a lot of issues, some high winds, down tree lines, maybe even a limb, because it says that in southeast Shelby County, southeast Memphis, there's a down tree and it brought down a power line. So definitely want to make sure that you are being very weather aware whenever you hear power lines go down. That means that somewhere in the metro Memphis area is without power right now. And also that also tells us that, you know, some of those power lines might still be live. So you definitely don't want to go out there. Just give MLGW a call and they will come out and get it to it as soon as possible. It's very interesting as well because Collierville is also not getting any rainfall as of right now either, but still here in the metro Memphis area, especially if you're trying to commute home going through I-40, I-55 going northward, you're definitely running into this heavy rainfall right now. I do have an update on that crash. It's a 2-car crash on 240 near the interchange. This is the same crash as you can see on your screen there. There's 2 lanes open at this time, but no one was taken to the hospital. So that's good news. That's what we like to hear. We don't like to report injuries, but no one was taken to the hospital at this time. We're going to keep our eye on that accident, but it's causing some major delays. It's backed up all the way to Poplar Ave. So definitely want to reroute if you're headed that way. There's a look at the backup. This is 240 at the overpass near Quince. Man, it's a parking lot out there. Definitely want to make sure that you are finding another route home if you have to take 240 there, because it is a mess out there. And the heavy rainfall is going to be continuing. The stronger portion of this storm that you see on your screen there, I'll draw another little line for you, that is going to be gone. But unfortunately, the rainfall will be continuing for a few hours. So just keep that in mind. Here's another track for us. Wilson and Gilt Edge, you guys will be kind of the next few places to be getting some of these strong winds. In fact, the National Weather Service is saying the strong winds are moving into Tipton County in the Mumford and Atoka area. In fact, you can be seeing wind gusts upwards of 58 miles an hour. So that is definitely something to keep your eye on here. So this is in Mumford. So I'm going to draw another track on here on the leading edge of this storm so we can see what we are looking at. So Mumford at 5:04 p.m., Atoka at 5:06 p.m., Brighton at 5:20 p.m., Gilt Edge at 5:21 p.m., Burleson at 5:27 p.m., Garland at 5:39 p.m., and Covington at 5:43 p.m. So let me read this bulletin. This is the severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby still. So I think they removed one of the counties from this. So it's still for Crittenden, Mississippi, Shelby, and Tipton until 5 o'clock tonight. Wind still 60 miles an hour and hail less than an inch here. So it's a mess outside, but we're going to stay on with you until 5 o'clock, and then we'll just go right into our 5 o'clock newscast. But until then, we will be staying on. And if they continue it for Shelby County, then we'll be staying through the 5 o'clock newscast. But let's take another look outside at 240. Apparently it is getting worse out there, which I can only imagine. This is all the way down to Getwell. This is from the same accident, or is this another incident? This is the same accident causing all of this backup. That is a mess. But you can see that the heaviest of the rain is almost complete, but across that leading line, that's where the heaviest of the rainfall is. But behind it, you're looking at just normal rainfall, but it's still, the damage has been done out on 240. As you can see, that's no good, especially if you're headed home. It's 4:50, and some people probably still have not even left work yet. Give them a call. If they got to go 240, they need to find another route. And in fact, I'm sure all the other routes are probably just as backed up. But here's a wide look. What are we looking at here? This is a wide look at our entire viewing area. So what can you see in Arkansas behind the main edge of that storm? Complete. That is done with all of the strongest of the rainfall. Unfortunately, that one severe cell is just it's continuing. We're looking at whenever we see that very specific little bowing almost, that's when we see very high winds, and that's why we are looking at a high wind. But behind that line, you guys are done with the strongest of the storms right now. Out in front, especially in this area going towards Covington, you guys definitely want to make sure that you're weather aware, because that seems to be a very strong line of storms. Now, Holly Springs, parts of Lafayette County, you guys haven't seen any rainfall just yet, but definitely still coming, still headed our way. We aren't quite done. Here's another product that we use. This lets us know if there's any rotation. And I like to show this. I know it seems, we're not seeing anything, Danielle. Well, that's good. We don't want to see any major shear. That means that there's rotation in the storm. And as of right now, that's not what we're looking at. We're not looking at a tornadic event. There could be some small hail involved, but we're not looking at any severe sized hail. So that's greater than an inch. As of right now, we're just looking at a high wind event. This is another thing that we look up. This is a threat tracker. So what are we looking at? The green on your screen, just heavy rainfall. The purple that you're seeing, that shows us that a little bit more hail. So as this storm has progressed, we have seen just tiny, and I do mean like fingernail sized hail falling from the sky, but still could accumulate. So that's definitely something that we're keeping our eye on. Here's a look at the radar. This is the strongest portion of the storm where that severe thunderstorm warning is located, and it's going to be until 5 o'clock. It's 4:52 right now. So in the next few minutes, we'll have a better idea of what the National Weather Service is planning on or thinking about with this storm. But as of right now, the radar is still indicating 60 miles an hour for them in Shelby County. So definitely something that we will keep our eye on. Over the last hour, I will zoom out just a little bit and put it in motion so we can see what we've been looking at. Over the last hour, you've seen kind of the progression of this storm. The winds have remained high. You can see they've issued around 3 or 4 severe thunderstorm warnings. It didn't start in Shelby County. It started in Tate and Tunica. We've just seen it kind of increase as it kept going all the way through. As of right now, heavy rainfall, high winds. those are our only concerns with this storm. But high winds are a big one because we've gotten quite a bit of rain here over the last few days and weeks. And so whenever we see high winds mixed in with heavy rainfall, that's when we see those trees going down, right? And that's when we start to see some of those power lines going down as well. You definitely want to make sure that you're away from your windows. If you're at work or even at home, definitely get away from those windows. Make sure that you are, staying back, being safe, getting your family in the safest part of your home. Even though we're not looking at a tornadic event, because those winds are so high and trees could fall down, you never know. So just go ahead and get away from windows. If you know someone who's on their way home, specifically on 240 and I-40, you definitely want to tell them, maybe find another route. Take your time getting home. Don't rush, because there's no point of rushing at this time. 240 is backed up really bad right now because there is an accident. It looks like 2 cars. Good news is we're not seeing anybody getting taken to the hospital. However, it's causing major delays in that area. So please definitely want to take your time going home today, because since 240 and 40 are right there, that is a major part of our city. You're going to see backups pretty much all over the place. So it doesn't matter where you're going, even the streets are going to start to get backed up as well. So this storm is definitely causing a lot of havoc across our city this afternoon, all for high winds and heavy rainfall. So just keep that in mind. Here's a live look at right now again at that crash that was at 240 and 40. And the backup is insane. It literally is a parking lot outside on 240 going back. It's past Poplar. It is a mess. The good news is, as you can see, there are at least 2 lanes open right now, but I'm definitely seeing some emergency personnel still on that scene of that crash. This is a look at the backup there. Wow. That is definitely a problem. And don't ride on that shoulder. Allow that for the emergency vehicles in case they need to get through. So just try to be patient. Pack your patience when you leave the house or wherever you leave work. If you're watching us on Facebook, maybe just make sure that you are headed home in as safe as possible, really. So it's 4:55. I'm going to zoom out one more time so that we can see what's going on across our viewing area once again. Finally, in Oxford, you guys are getting some heavy rainfall down there as well. Some of those storms could be a little intense. I'll zoom in just a little bit there. Definitely want to make sure that you're being weather aware if it has not rained at your house yet, because it's been such a beautiful afternoon. Very summer-like, very sunny, a little bit hot outside. Temperatures above average. So some of these storms could be a little bit strong to severe. So just keep that in mind as well. To the south of us, there are more severe thunderstorm warnings, but we're not seeing that right now. The only one that we are keeping our eye on is the storm that is in Shelby County, and it's still kind of holding together just a little bit, but it looks like we could be seeing it expire around 5 o'clock. But it is 4:56 right now, and we are still monitoring this storm. Heavy rainfall, high winds, all a large portion of this storm. Once again, I want to stress this. I know that, we've had a lot of bad weather, but we're not looking at this as a tornadic event right now, but definitely still seeing some high winds and definitely some heavy rainfall. And we've had 2 reports at the very least of trees down in that area, as well as some possible power outages in southeast Memphis, Eudora. In DeSoto County, they also had some trees down, so just keep that in mind as well. The leading edge of this storm right now approaching Munford, so I'll draw a new track on there while we kind of wait and see what the National Weather Service decides to do with this storm in the next 3 to 4 minutes here. And I will do another track on it. So some of us still haven't seen any rainfall, but some of us have. Atoka at 4:59 p.m., Gilt Edge at 5:03 p.m., Burleson at 5:09 p.m., Brighton at 5:10 p.m., Garland at 5:15 p.m., Osceola at 5:21 p.m., Covington at 5:27 p.m., Luxura at 5:31 p.m., Henning at 5:44 p.m., and Ripley at 5:56 p.m. So just keep that in mind. Definitely keeping an eye on this storm. There's a new bulletin from the National Weather Service. Let's see.
Okay, so that's good news here. So this is kind of a fair heads up to everyone in the booth. I know it's 4:58 p.m., so we're getting ready for our 5 o'clock newscast, but they are probably going to let this severe thunderstorm warning expire. So I'll keep my eye on this storm, but once this expires at 5 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and stay on with our 5 o'clock newscast. So just keep that in mind. We're going to go up until our 5 o'clock newscast. Obviously it's 4:58 now, so no Jennifer Hudson this evening. But we're keeping our eye on it. The storm is still strong. Just because we go off the air, that does not mean that the storm is over by any means. We're still keeping our eye on it. High winds are definitely a concern. And while I have your attention right now, before I toss things over to the news team, I'll go through really quickly and show you what to anticipate for the next 12 to 15 hours. Once again, this is one of our future casts that we use, one of our best tools to let us know exactly what to anticipate over the next few hours. So you can see that rainfall around 6 p.m. still continuing, but that leading edge of the storm will be almost out of our viewing area by 8 o'clock this evening. So keep that in mind. We will be done with the rainfall, looks like by 10 p.m., getting a little bit of a break because there's going to be more isolated showers coming around midnight, especially in that North Mississippi area. We'll have to keep our eye on that, especially if you guys don't get any rain today. Rain helps us with these isolated showers because it lets them be a little bit weaker as they develop. Around 6 a.m. though in the morning, definitely still looking at some more possible showers in the area. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so it's 4:59, and that noise that you hear behind me, I'll reset just a little bit. They have canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County. So we have completed that. I'm going to keep my eye on this storm. Obviously, I'll be here for the rest of the evening. So if any of these storms continue to become severe, make sure you're following us on social media. That's ABC24 Memphis on Facebook as well as Twitter. You can also follow me at SunnyD_weather. I will definitely be tweeting and posting on Facebook about the weather as it continues to develop. We are done right now with the severe thunderstorm warning. However, the rainfall will be continuing for the next few hours, and I'll keep my eye on it. If you haven't gotten any rain, definitely continue to be weather aware because the winds are very high at this time. So